we were very glad to get the victory today. I have a lot of respect for Bob and what he's done at Youngstown State. Brown is a very nice player, their senior post player. And we knew we were going to have our hands full guarding her. She's so aggressive going the hole. You know, you want all your players to play with that kind of passion and intensity. And, you know, what they've been able to accomplish in just the short amount of time that their coaching staff has been there has been outstanding, you know. So a lot of respect there. Very glad to get this win. First half we didn't shoot it particularly well, turned the ball over a little bit more for my liking, but I thought our defense prevailed, and that's been what we've hung our hat on all season. That's why we won today, and we're glad to be looking forward to the third round.
Both games, you haven't actually trailed. Can you comment on that?
Let's hope it stays that way. I like that. You know, I think our players have been focused coming out of the gate to get a good start, because I think the important thing, especially on your home court, is not to give a team confidence right out of the tip. And so they've really prided themselves in having a good start.
Inma's played really well so far in the tournament. She played 35 minutes today. She says she's not tired, but with all of her international ball, do you worry about her? Did you take any steps during the season to kind of limit that wear and tear, or is she such in good shape that you don't care?
A little bit of both. You know, yeah, I do worry about fatigue with all of our players. But I think, you know, we're trying to be smart. The day in between the two games, my starters didn't do a whole lot. They walked through the plays of Youngstown State. They shot some free throws, which we know is needed. And we did very minimal things with them. We went hard with the rest of the team. But we're trying to take steps to really preserve what energy we do have left in our legs, so that we're being smart. Today they were ordered to get in the cold whirlpools as soon as we got done with them, because I do want them taking care of their bodies. But, you know, she is in fantastic shape, and I think that if there's a player that could play that many minutes and play them with intensity, it's someone that really has prided herself in making her body and her mind and her heart and soul, everything is just in pristine shape. And she prepared herself for the season she's having, and it's neat to see her have the fruits of her labor.
How much has she improved from last year? Is some of that just being more aggressive, more assertive than she used to be?
Well, if you think back to last year, she played more post than she did perimeter. She wouldn't have been able to keep up with some of the guards that she's guarded all season long last year, because she was a little bit slower, you know. But she's gotten herself in such great shape that she's not hitting screens anymore. She's able to move past the screens. She's able to drive and get to the hole a little bit better than what she did. But what's really been impressive is how well she's improved her three-point shooting ability. You know, when we've been in trouble this year, she's somebody that can step out and hit a big shot. She's shown it this game. She showed it last game. When the game got tight, she's the one that stepped up. And it's great to see that she enjoys that added pressure, because we're going to need her to take that responsibility next season.
She's guarding guards, like you said, but she also was on a Brown play.
She was, and that's the beauty of her. She's got a build that can guard a variety of positions. If you notice today, she guarded each position on the court, every single one of them. She could guard the point. When I took Angela out, when Angela got a little banged up early on, we switched her onto the point guard. You know, I don't know many people that can guard all those 5 positions. She and Lucretia can't. And with Lucretia graduating, it's nice to know that we've already kind of prepared Inma for that, because we've asked Lucretia to do that her whole career. But her versatility on both ends of the floor is just, it's a coach's dream. And you hope that you continue to recruit players that can do those kind of things, because when you have injuries, when you have foul trouble, no problem.
Not to look too far ahead with her, but with Lucretia graduating, does she slide into that role potentially, or do you like her where she's at now?
Just depends on how people develop, and also how our incoming class develops when they get here. You know, you like to say that you know it's going to be a certain way, but the one thing I've learned in coaching is that, you know, you recruit hoping everything's going to turn out that way, and then you've got to get through preseason and see how everything stacks up. You know, I don't think we'll know until we get closer to October of next year about who's going to be in what position. But the great thing about Inma is, you know, she's going to be out there. I mean, she's been phenomenal. She's one of the best people, best players in our league, and you don't have to pigeonhole her in a position.
You guys played at a high intensity pace throughout the whole game. How do you guys manage to keep that going on throughout the whole game?
I think the nice thing is being able to substitute and get fresh bodies in. But our players enjoy playing an up-tempo game. It's something that they really enjoy. You know, if we get a rebound, we want to get down the other court and score. You know, we do transition drills all the time where we'll put 8 seconds on the clock, and they've got to score within that, or I give points to the defense for stopping them. So they're used to having to play in a very high-paced situation and make reads. And that's, I think when you do that, you tend to wear down the other team, and that's kind of the strategy in that. Sometimes that transition style of play is your best defense you can play. You're wearing down the other team, and now their shots are starting to get short because their legs are tired. So we enjoy it. It's fun to play, especially when we take care of the basketball and make shots.
I also noticed you guys have a lot of charisma as a team. How do you, like, the girls are real close together. How do you guys get that close as a basketball team? I know you have players from different countries and
Right.
all over the United States.
I think the first step of that is recruiting quality people, and we take a really close look at that. You know, we want to bring people in here, class acts, not only on the court but off, so that we feel are going to blend well with who we have, same kind of qualities in what kind of person that they are, and that they have strong values. The second part of that is as soon as they get here in July for summer school, they spend a lot of time together, and they do a lot of things together, like going to Cedar Point. And then once the season starts and we're allowed to do some team building activities, we try to change that up every year, add something new, add something different, but kind of put them in situations where we're developing our leaders, developing our chemistry. Because I do think that that's been something that we've been able to have great success in postseason because of our chemistry. We haven't always been the most talented team on the court during a lot of our wins in this tournament. But we've definitely been one of the teams that gets along and cares about each other the most.
Do you expect to know Monday after the other game whether you're going to be hosting?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised either way. Eastern Illinois beat Missouri, and they're a team that, you know, that's their first postseason victory in school history for women's basketball. You know, they're going to be riding a high, and, you know, I would not be surprised at all if we see them. Obviously, Illinois has a lot of confidence, too, coming from the Big Ten, didn't have the season that they would have wanted to have, probably feel slighted, and so, you know, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that game. I'm going to prepare for both. We don't know who it's going to be.
You had a big fan base here tonight. What do your fans mean to you guys?
We are so appreciative and so thankful. We have one of the best fan bases in the country. And the atmosphere that they provide makes it fun to come to work every day, makes it fun for our players. How can you not be motivated when you walk out and play in front of that crowd? But it's also awesome for us as we try to sell this program to future recruits. You know, what a great tool to be able to have them come and sit in our stands and experience this environment. You know, a lot of players, after they've experienced it, want to play here, and that's what we're counting on. But, you know, our fans are tremendous, and they're a big reason why we're able to host. You know, when you've got a fan base like that, and you're the WNIT, you know, it's a little bit easier to say, yeah, we'll let you host, and we appreciate it.
Did you want to get a little dig there in the second half?
I'm sorry?
Did you want to get dig there in the second half?
Did she get hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, she on the play underneath the basket, you know, it may have been unintentional. I was a little frustrated because it could have been a fourth foul on Brown, but, you know, I'm not perfect either. So it happened. She got dinged a little bit. She was okay, though. I took her out so she could kind of recover from it.
Anything else?
Coach Cullop?
All right. Thanks.